NFL teams are always looking for ways to improve their roster, whether they're at the bottom of the barrel or primed to make a Super Bowl run. Sometimes their focus is drafting the next franchise-altering player, but in other situations, a veteran free agent is the missing piece of the championship puzzle. In today's video, we're going to be taking a look at the greatest free agent signings from the 1970s to today. If you like what you see, like and subscribe for more great content. The 1970s, Drew Pearson and Donnie Shell. Sometimes teams find diamonds in the rough, unexpected gems that turn into impact players. This was definitely the case for both Drew Pearson and Donnie Shell when they were signed as undrafted free agents. Pearson originally made the Cowboys roster as a third-string wide receiver and special teamer, but as fate would have it, he was thrust into the spotlight after injuries to Otto Stowe and Mike Montgomery in back-to-back games. Once Pearson had his opportunity, he ran with it and never looked back. He was Dallas's top wideout from 73 to 78 and was named a Pro Bowler and first-team All-Pro in 1974, 76, and 1977. He was also an instrumental part of Big D's 27-10 victory over the Denver Broncos in Super Bowl XII. Over the course of his 11-season career with the Cowboys from 1973 to 83, Pearson racked up 489 catches for 7,822 yards and 48 scores, and earned a gold jacket and the distinction of being an NFL Hall of Fame inductee. For the Steelers, Donnie Shell quickly made his mark for the black and gold as a fearless and hard-hitting safety, earning the nickname Torpedo. From 1974 to 87, he was an enforcer on Pittsburgh's defense and a key member of the famous Steel Curtain during the 1970s. Over the course of his career, Shell won 4 Super Bowl rings and was named an All-Pro 4 straight seasons from 1979 to 82 and was selected to the Pro Bowl 5 straight times from 78 to 82. But despite being a model of excellence and consistency over his entire career, it would take decades before Donnie Shell was finally recognized as a Hall of Famer. He was in the top 15 in Hall of Fame voting in 2002, but the door to football immortality didn't open up for him until 2019. That year, he was chosen as a finalist for the NFL's 100th anniversary team, despite not being a Hall of Famer at the time. In 2020, Shell finally made it to the hallowed halls of the Pro Football Hall of Fame in Canton, Ohio, and he was inducted as a member of the Centennial class by fellow NFL legend Tony Dungy. 1980s, Nate Newton and Joe Jacoby. Offensive linemen are often unsung heroes who don't get the recognition they deserve, but without great blocking up front, a football team goes nowhere. Next up on this list, we spotlight 2 of the most impactful free agent offensive linemen in NFL history, Nate Newton and Joe Jacoby. After playing for a season with the Washington Redskins in 1983 and 2 seasons with the USFL's Tampa Bay Bandits in 1984 and 85, Newton was picked up by the Dallas Cowboys in 1986. The rest, as they say, is history. During his time from Dallas from 86 to 98, Newton became one of the key members on an offensive line that would open up holes for Emmitt Smith and pave the way towards 3 Super Bowl championships in the 1990s. Not only was Newton's impact on the field huge for his team, but he was also literally huge. Standing 6'3" and weighing 335 pounds, he was nicknamed the Kitchen because he was even larger than William the Refrigerator Perry, the famous lineman for the Chicago Bears. During his time in Dallas, Nate Newton was selected to the Pro Bowl 6 times and was named an All-Pro twice. He was known as a fantastic run blocker and pass protector. He was able to hold his own against Packers legend and Hall of Famer Reggie White, which is something very few offensive linemen in NFL history have been able to do. Like Nate Newton did for Dallas, Joe Jacoby played an instrumental role for the Washington Redskins in the trenches. As one of the members of Washington's famous line, nicknamed the Hogs, Jacoby helped open running lanes for a powerful Redskins offense and earned 3 Super Bowl rings. Joe Jacoby had a career any offensive lineman can only dream about. In addition to playing in 4 Super Bowls and winning 3, Jacoby was also named an All-Pro first-teamer 3 times, was selected as a Pro Bowler 4 times, and sprung the block that paved the way for John Riggins to score the game-sealing touchdown in Super Bowl 17. 1990s, Reggie White and Deion Sanders. You know someone is truly famous when all you have to do is mention a nickname and people instantly know who you are talking about. Primetime and the Minister of Defense are next on this list as 2 of the biggest free agent pickups of the 1990s. After playing 5 seasons with the Atlanta Falcons from 89 to 93, Deion Sanders signed with the San Francisco 49ers for the 1994 season. He may have only played a single season with the Niners, but it was arguably the best season of his career. Sanders snagged 6 interceptions that year and returned 3 of them all the way for touchdowns, averaging over 50 yards per interception return. This did not go unnoticed as he was named Defensive Player of the Year for the year of 1994. In Super Bowl 29, he recorded an interception in an otherwise lopsided game between the Niners and the Chargers. With San Francisco's win, he became a Super Bowl champion for the first time. In 1995, after signing with the Cowboys, Sanders missed the first 8 games of the season due to arthroscopic knee surgery, but didn't miss a beat the rest of the way as Dallas advanced all the way to Super Bowl 30 and won the game 27-17 over the Pittsburgh Steelers for their 3rd championship in 4 seasons and Deion's 2nd with 2 different teams. In the game, Deion made his big play on the offensive side of the ball, hauling a 47-yard pass to set up the first Cowboys score of the day, as he captured his 2nd and final championship ring. Over the course of his career, Deion Sanders was an 8-time All-Pro as well as an 8-time Pro Bowler before entering the NFL Hall of Fame in his first year of eligibility in 2011. For as successful as Deion Sanders was in his NFL career, Reggie White was probably an even more dominant force in the field. Standing 6'5" and weighing in at 300 pounds, the Minister of Defense was a nightmare to opposing quarterbacks everywhere during his time with the Philadelphia Eagles and Green Bay Packers, as he earned 13 straight Pro Bowl selections from 86 to 98 and was named an All-Pro 13 times and earned a Defensive Player of the Year honors twice in 87 and 98. But Reggie White made his biggest impact on the gridiron when the Packers picked him up as a free agent following the 1992 season. During his 6 seasons in Green Bay, White racked up 68.5 sacks. 3 of those sacks came in a 35-21 victory in Super Bowl 31 against Bill Parcells and the New England Patriots. His 3 sacks in that game remains a single-game Super Bowl record. 2000s, Brian Waters, James Harrison, and Drew Brees. Next on this list, we have a trio of impact players who were all franchise-altering acquisitions when they were signed as free agents. It was not immediately clear that Brian Waters was going to be a solid NFL player. After he signed with the Dallas Cowboys in 1998 as an undrafted free agent, he was released during training camp before he ever even played a down for the team. But the Kansas City Chiefs must have seen something they liked in Waters, as they signed him during the 2000 offseason. It took a few seasons for the team's decision to sign Waters to pay dividends, but starting in 2004 with his first trip to the Pro Bowl, Waters showed what he can really do when given the opportunity. During his time with the Chiefs, Waters made the Pro Bowl 5 times, 2004 to 06, 08, and 2010, and was named to the All-Pro team twice in 04 and 05. Waters signed with the New England Patriots before the 2011 season and started every game at guard for the Patriots, making the last Pro Bowl of his career with the team. But it's clear his best days were with the Chiefs, who took a gamble on him when other teams wouldn't. James Harrison had an interesting NFL career. Sure, we all know him now as a ferocious, hard-hitting, and excellent linebacker during his time with the Pittsburgh Steelers, but his NFL journey didn't start out quite that way. It was only after massive struggles early in his career and being cut by Pittsburgh 3 times that the James Harrison we know started to finally take shape. During the 2004 offseason, the projected starter at linebacker Clark Hagan suffered a freak weightlifting accident. Enter Harrison. After that, he took off. Harrison was a consistent enforcer for the Steelers and was named to the Pro Bowl 5 times during his career from 07 to 2011 and an All-Pro 4 consecutive seasons from 2007 to 2010. Not only that, he was an integral part of 2 Super Bowl championship teams with the Steelers. His journey just goes to show that refusing to give up pays off. The last big acquisition of the 2000s is a future Hall of Famer. But before taking the NFL world by storm, Drew Brees was at the center of one of the more wide-reaching what-if scenarios in NFL history. After playing for the Chargers for the first 5 seasons of his career from 2001 to 05, the team decided to let Brees walk in free agency. The Saints and the Dolphins were the 2 teams most interested in picking him up. The Dolphins, however, were still iffy about whether or not he had fully recovered from a shoulder injury and eventually opted not to sign him. This decision to no longer pursue Brees led to Nick Saban leaving the Dolphins and taking over as the head coach at the University of Alabama. The Saints would eventually sign Drew Brees, and he would have one of the greatest careers in NFL history for a quarterback. While he played from New Orleans from 06 to 2020, Drew Brees was named to the Pro Bowl 13 times and was a 5-time All-Pro. Brees led the NFL in passing yards 7 times, passing touchdowns 4 times, completion percentage 6 times, and passer rating twice, various times throughout his storied career. But perhaps his biggest impact during his time as a member of the Saints was off the football field. Hurricane Katrina devastated New Orleans in 2005, and it took the area years to recover. Brees, along with the Saints' teammates, served as an inspiration to a city recovering from tragedy, and in 2009, he would lead New Orleans to their first Super Bowl championship in franchise history, as the team defeated Peyton Manning and the favored Colts 31-17 to earn the right to hoist the Lombardi Trophy. After he's all done, there's only one thing left for Drew Brees: be enshrined in the Pro Football Hall of Fame. He's sure to be a first ballot Hall of Famer in 2025. 2010s, Peyton Manning. Some would still argue that the last impactful free agent of the modern era is the greatest quarterback in NFL history, and if it wasn't for Tom Brady, they might be right. But even though the most of his best years were with the Colts, Denver took a chance on Peyton Manning after he suffered a neck injury during his last season in Indianapolis. And it was a gamble that would pay off in a huge way from 2012 to 2015, with the Broncos appearing in a pair of Super Bowls and Manning winning his record 5th and final MVP award. In 2015, he would lead Denver to their first Super Bowl championship since 1998 with the 24-10 victory over the Carolina Panthers. After that, he rode off into the sunset, retiring in style, and was elected to the Pro Football Hall of Fame in 2021. Sometimes the wrong free agency moves can set a team back several years, but when the right moves are made at the right time, not only do they result in Super Bowl championships, but they reshape the landscape of the NFL and add countless new iconic moments to the history of the league. If you liked today's video, please like and share and subscribe to our channel for more great content. Thank you for supporting our channel.